I've been building my own kingdom for everyone to see. It exists to keep me safe from harm, and it's intact to glorify me. Nobody helped me build this up. It was me and me alone. I've appointed myself as the king, and I've given myself the throne. But it turns out I'm no ruler, and I have no control. So I have decided to destroy it all. I'm tearing down the walls, kicking down the doors. Everything inside this kingdom is yours. 'Cause what I've made is worthless, and it cannot stand. Come and breathe some life into my empty, cold, dead end. Down with the fickle king, away with this fantasy. You are the one I need. Death to the kingdom of me. Death to the kingdom of me. I should probably be frightened. This empire's all I know, but it always does more damage than good. I'm afraid it's gotta go. I know that I can't be trusted, 'cause I'm just a man. And if you hadn't given your life for me, a loser would be all that I am. You know they say just follow your heart. I'm afraid that's a load of trash. Your heart will take you down to deep, dark places where you feel like you'll never come back. So I'm coming out of the dark. This facade is... I woke up feeling like it was time to tighten up. Yeah, I woke up feeling like it might be a good day to get it done. That's right. Oh, the stadium is just like my second house. Now I'm two-tone talking, they can't shut my mouth. I woke up feeling like it was time to tighten up. Yeah, 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 yeah. I woke up feeling like it was time to tighten up. It is episode 212 of the Two Tone Talk by God pod. January 26th, 2026, as the Super Bowl is set. Boy, is it. In 2 weeks, it will be the Seattle Seahawks versus who? The New England Patriots. Coached by Mike Vrabel in the Super Bowl in a couple of weeks. The Patriots defeated the Broncos 10-7 in the AFC Championship yesterday, and then the Seahawks defeated the Rams in the NFC Championship, and that is where we stand as we head into the Super Bowl. So a lot of Titans fans talking today, understandably so, about Mike Vrabel and how bad, once again, the Tennessee Titans look right now. The coach that they fired, you can slice it up any way you want to. The coach that they fired 2 years ago, that many people scratched their head and said, why are you firing this guy? Is now in his first year with a new team, headed to the Super Bowl. And I understand the Patriots have kind of had a cakewalk. I mean, backup quarterback in the snow, it's not their fault. I mean, they put they go against who's in front of them. And now to win the Super Bowl, they got to beat Sam Darnold. I mean, like in terms of the NFL, that's about as easy of a road as you could take. C.J. Stroud in the divisional round, he was booty, So the Patriots are in the Super Bowl, and Mike Vrabel's in the Super Bowl, and it's a terrible look for the Titans. We are the butt of the joke once again. And so when I think about that, I don't want to talk about it too much more. I don't want to talk about Vrabel too much more because now more than ever, I'm a big believer in the fact that, man, the milk's out of the carton. You can't put it back in. You made a mistake. You fired someone you shouldn't have fired. Yeah, it was stupid. Yeah, it was a bad choice. But we got to move on. We got to move on, When you break up with somebody and then they go on to date somebody better looking than you, that's cooler than you, it's more fun than you. I mean, yeah, you can sit around and cry about it for a little bit, but you got to get up and plot a path forward in your own life at some point, right? So the Titans have got to do that. You can't sit around and cry over spilled milk too much more. And we got to that point with A.J. Brown too. Like A.J. Brown got traded to a different team, and then he went on to win the Super Bowl with that team. Yeah, it was stupid to trade him. It was dumb. Good organizations don't do that, but, I mean, what can we do now? What can we do? Got to go forward. Got to go forward somehow. And the Titans are once again faced with that dilemma, as every single person, every single analyst will look at them and say, these fools fired Mike Vrabel, and now he's in the Super Bowl, and they're 6-28 since he left. You're right. It was a bad decision to fire him, and the guy they replaced him with was a terrible decision, and the GM that they picked over him was a terrible decision, as clearly evident by the fact that they've both been fired since Vrabel was fired. But what do you want to do? You want to cry? What do you want the Titans to do as an organization? Do you want them to cry and just sit in the corner and say, we failed, let's give up? No, you got to get up and try to make it right. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. You got to control what you can control. You made a stupid decision. You made a stupid fire. Now, Vrabel's last 2 years here were not particularly good. A lot of reasons for that, I suppose, but they were not particularly good. And I understand that there were some elements of what Vrabel was doing that was very stubborn and stuff. Isaiah said, do you think the organization should have hired Cowden? I mean, that's certainly what Vrabel wanted. Vrabel wanted to hire Cowden, and they wanted to hire Carthon. I don't know if Vrabel would have been right if he would have gone with Cowden, but I know they weren't right going with Carthon because look how that turned out, right? But, yes, the last 2 years of Vrabel weren't good, and he had dedication to bad coaches that he was loyal to, and was in a situation where Ryan Tannehill was about to move on. We can get into all of that, but you know how it went. And do I think that if Vrabel had stayed here, that the Titans would have been in the Super Bowl with him over these last couple of years? Well, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. But, I mean, you had a good coach. You had a really good coach. And you have to keep this in mind, too. Vrabel took a year off after he left here. He took a year off. He was like an assistant with the Browns. and now obviously he's with the Patriots. I think Vrabel learned a lot. I think Vrabel learned from his mistakes. I heard Logan Ryan say it on one of the post-game shows yesterday. This is not the same guy that coached the Titans. I think Vrabel's gotten better as a coach since he left here because he learned. And might I remind you, that is exactly what we hope Robert Saleh does, right? We hope that Robert Saleh has learned and improved on his mistakes that he's made before and can come here and do a much better job. I mean, that's kind of what we're hoping Saleh does. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. The Titans honestly need to follow the same kind of path that the Patriots did last offseason. Unit 285 said, we look forward and hope Saleh brings back stability we lost with Vrabel. Hope Amy learns the grass is not always greener on the other side of the fence. Yes, that's the lesson here. It's a cliche, old, corny lesson, but the grass is not always greener. I thought it was. I was wrong. But the grass is not always greener. But the Titans need to follow the same offseason plan that the Patriots did last year. The Patriots were 4-13 last year. They were terrible. Poorly coached, bad roster, but look what they did. They come out this year with a much better coach. They're much better coached. They spent their money in free agency to mainly improve their defense. They had a really good draft. And all of a sudden, they go from zero to hero. So, honestly, that's the path the Titans need to follow. The Patriots had the most cap space in the NFL last offseason. The Titans have it this offseason. Spend that money wisely. Rand Carthon did not last time we had a lot of money to spend. He did not spend it wisely. Mike Borgonzi's got to spend it wisely. And he's got to draft well. And here's the thing, man. If you want a silver lining, if Cam Ward turns out to be the man, okay? If Cam Ward turns out to be awesome and he leads us to so many great moments and wins and all of that, like, you would have never gotten him if Vrabel were here, because we would have been better if Vrabel was here and we wouldn't have drafted Cam Ward. So maybe that'll make it all worth it. Who knows? But, watching, and this is an interesting topic, but watching these playoffs and watching these two games yesterday, it is so interesting to me how the NFL has changed. It's so interesting to me because 5 years ago, it was the belief that you've got to have a generational quarterback to make it to the Super Bowl. We said that. It was what everybody was saying 5 years. You got to have a Mahomes or an Allen or a Lamar or a Burrow. That's the only way that you can get to the promised land. And that's just been proven to be false by the fact that Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson have never even played in a Super Bowl. Burrow's played in one and Mahomes has played in many. But every year we watch guys like Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold this year, and Darnold's played well, but, I mean, does anybody think Sam Darnold's more talented than Josh Allen? No. Does anybody think he's more talented than Lamar Jackson? No. But he's playing in the Super Bowl. I don't think Drake May has played particularly well in these playoffs. He's definitely not as good as Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, but he's in the Super Bowl. So, the NFL has changed. We watched Jalen Hurts hoist up the trophy last year. We could watch Sam Darnold hoist it up this year. So the reason I say all of that is because when it comes to Cam Ward, yes, I would love for him to be the next Patrick Mahomes, the next Josh Allen, the next Lamar Jackson. I would love for him to get into that tier. But what if Cam Ward is able to give you, if you're able to get a good enough roster around him, it becomes a lot more reasonable to say, could Cam Ward give you what Jalen Hurts gave the Eagles last year? Could Cam Ward give you what Sam Darnold has given to the Seahawks this year eventually? Could Cam Ward give you, with proper coaching and a good roster, could he give you what Brock Purdy gives to the 49ers? What Jordan Love gives to the Packers? Because, I mean, the league has changed. CJ Stroud was terrible. But yet I thought his team could have contended for a Super Bowl just because their defense was so darn good. And the belief 2 years ago when the Titans fired Mike Vrabel to hire Brian Callahan, the belief at that point even was, well, you got to get that offensive guru. You got to get that quarterback whisperer. You've got to get that guy that can come in here and get Will Levis at the time playing, throwing 400 yards a game and on top of the league. And we had just watched C.J. Stroud have that great rookie year. And it was like, oh, we've got to have that quarterback that can hang with Allen and Burrow and Jackson and Mahomes. And now just 2 years later, we're hiring Robert Saleh. The Ravens are hiring Jesse Minter. The Steelers are hiring Mike McCarthy. The Browns are probably going to elevate Jim Schwartz. We got the Cardinals possibly gonna hire Vance Joseph. We're seeing a bunch of defensive-minded coaches because the whole mindset has changed. Well, we got to have a great defense. If we have a great defense and we have a good enough roster, then you don't even have to have a generational quarterback. You just need a guy that can do okay. You just need a guy that can come in and just not make mistakes and give you some big plays in a game, and all of a sudden, you got a shot. I mean, the Broncos with Bo Nix, you don't think Cam Ward could eventually give the Titans what Bo Nix gave the Broncos this year? Somebody said, let me scroll up. Richard said Cliff Kingsbury is still on the Titans offensive coordinator radar and he might still be in the Titans building. More on that here in a second. But all of that to say, the thinking behind Vrabel's firing was, okay, it's an offensive league. It's a quarterback-driven league. It's an offense league. And now all of a sudden it's like we've gone back in time. Just a couple of years later, now it's, defense wins championships. Like Joe just said, defense wins championships again. The Seahawks I know Darnold played very well last night. He was great, actually. But the main reason the Seahawks are in the Super Bowl is because their defense is awesome. And they've been awesome all year. The Rams' defense was awesome. The Patriots' defense is very good. The Broncos' defense in the AFC Championship game, they've been awesome all year. Houston's defense, awesome. Look at the teams who just made it to the divisional round. They all have awesome defenses. Things have changed, man. It's like we've gone back in time. We've gone back to the defense wins championships thing. And now we have one of the top 3 defensive minds in the league as our head coach. So that's good. That's good. But he's got to nail the offensive coordinator hire. Even though it is more defensive driven now than it was, that means it is well within reason that Cam Ward could turn into the guy for this organization, even if he's not Mahomes or Allen. And I hope he is, but lest we forget, Allen and Lamar have not even played in a Super Bowl yet. Just remember that when you talk about quarterbacks that can get you to the Super Bowl. Allen and Lamar can't get there. Burrow's gotten there once, hadn't been able to even sniff it since then. Mahomes is there all the time. Drake May in year 2, without the flashy numbers in the playoffs or anything like that's going to the Super Bowl. Maybe we need to change what we're looking for in these quarterbacks. Maybe we need to be a little more reasonable, and instead of saying we need a guy that could throw for 350 a game, no, you need a guy that can be smart and not make mistakes. You need a guy that can be smart and not turn the ball over and not make mistakes. And if you have a good enough defense, I mean, that was Robert Saleh's downfall in New York. They had great defenses. They had great top 5 defenses. No answer at quarterback. No answer at quarterback at all. A guy, guys that couldn't protect the ball, couldn't protect themselves, weren't accurate. It's the basics, man. That's what Cam Ward's got to get better at by 2026. And in order to do that, Robert Saleh is going to have to nail this OC hire. So Cliff Kingsbury and Adam Stenovich are interviewing for the OC position in Nashville today. I have no clue how they're even getting there because I don't know if you've seen the weather in and around Nashville. I mean, bruh, it's bad. It's bad. So I don't know. I mean, they've had to push back Salah's introductory press conference from Wednesday to Thursday because the weather's so bad. So I don't know how in the world they're getting Cliff Kingsbury and Adam Stenavich and Thad Lewis even into the building today. I don't even know how they're pulling it off. But Titans Forever 2 said, what about Greg Roman as OC? Ugh. Man, it just feels like to me anybody outside of Daboll or Kingsbury to me is going to feel like settling a little bit. Like I view Daboll and Kingsbury as like top tier. Those are the two guys at the top. Anybody under that is just going to be like, okay, like Stenavich, I'm not going to say Stenavich can't be a good OC for us, but I'm not going to be as excited about him. Same with Greg Roman, same with anybody. And it's going to be interesting to see how this Daboll thing plays out, because I think that now you are getting to the point where, what is it, 4 teams left that haven't hired coaches: Browns, Cardinals, Raiders, Bills. I think that you're going to start to see this pick up over the next few days. I think you're going to see these teams start, because it's getting to the point where you got to do something. I mean, it's the Super Bowl's in a couple of weeks, and then pretty much a new season starts for these front offices. You got to start scouting for free agency and the draft heavily, because free agency opens up in March and then the draft is in April. Like, you got to get to work. You got to get these guys in here, get their staff together, and get to work. So, I mean, these 4 teams that don't have head coaches yet, they got to get a move on it. And nobody wants the Browns job. And it doesn't seem like anybody wants the Cardinals job either. So that's interesting. But that's especially appropriate for or fitting for the Bills. They've got to do something. They got to hire somebody. And they've got other options other than Daboll, but Daboll remains one of the favorites for that job. And to me, that's the biggest hurdle between of him coming to the Titans to be the OC. Because they're the only thing stopping him from coming here, the way I view it. I know the Eagles' name has been thrown out there, but, I mean, if there is any job in the NFL less desirable right now than the Browns head coach, it's the Eagles' offensive coordinator. It seems like nobody wants that job. So, Daboll, the Titans are trying to wait him out. And I don't think they'll have to wait much longer, because I think the Bills are going to have to make a decision, just like all of these other teams, over the next few days about who their next coach is going to be. And hopefully it's somebody other than Brian Daboll, because it seems like that's who the Titans want. But if not, I mean, Cliff Kingsbury is – I can't even put him at number 2. I'd put him at Daboll 1A and Kingsbury 1B. I would love either one of those guys as the OC. I have also thought about the possibility, if the Bills were to hire Daboll, where does that put Joe Brady? Now, Joe Brady is still interviewing for head coaching jobs. He could still get a head coaching job. But if he doesn't get the Bills job, I got to think Joe Brady could be an option as OC, depending on what happens there. But for me, Cliff Kingsbury's in the building today, and it kind of sucks, because if the Titans knew that, listen, Daboll's going to Buffalo, we're not going to get him, I wish they could be more aggressive today, because I do think they want to have an OC hire by Thursday. When Robert Saleh does his press conference, I think they want to have an offensive coordinator hired by then. I don't think they want to still be like, oh, we don't know. I think they want an answer by Thursday. And so hopefully it will be either Daboll or Kingsbury. Those are the best case scenarios. If not them, I mean, Stenavich, I'm not as excited. I think the offensive line would be great, but I thought they'd be great under Bill Callahan too. But the Titans have been very aggressive in meeting the requirements of the Rooney Rule, and I know it's weird, the Rooney Rule, and it just doesn't – it seems like something needs to be updated with that, because you can tell – like when teams are getting aggressive about meeting the requirements for that, and it just, some of that just doesn't seem right at all. But the Titans really quickly met the requirements for that, so like they can make a hire anytime they want. And so who knows, maybe they'll just hire Kingsbury today, but I just find it hard to believe they would do that knowing that Daboll still is out there and you don't know what exactly the deal is with him. So I'm hoping for Daboll or Kingsbury today, but it is – here's the bottom line. I understand. It's a tad embarrassing when you look up and you say, okay, the coach that we fired is getting ready to coach in the Super Bowl. we're on our second coach since we fired him, trying to back at square one, trying to find our way. I get that. But I said this last week on a TikTok I did on the Two-Tone Talk, the Two-Tone Talk TikTok. Listen, man, I understand, and this is how I'll end it today. The Titans made a mistake in firing Vrabel. It is proven to be a mistake. It wasn't the right decision at all, especially when you consider who they followed it up with. Just a disaster. But at this point today, January 26th, 2026, what do you want them to do? What do you want them to do? What do you do in life when you make mistakes and then you sit with it for a little bit and see the ramifications of the decisions you've made? Well, you can't just wallow in the mud forever. You got to get up and move on. The Titans have got to do that. And people can roll their eyes and say, oh, they're bringing in Robert Saleh. They're getting a coach similar to Vrabel. They could have just kept Vrabel. Yeah, they could have, but they didn't. It's over. He's gone. And if they want to go get a coach that they think fits that leader of men style like Vrabel, I'm not going to fault them for that. You tried the offensive guru thing, and it did not work. Just like the NFL, sometimes to go forward, you got to go back. Going back to these defensive mindsets and defense wins championships. For the Tennessee Titans, sometimes to go forward, you got to go back. We tried the offensive guru, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan type guy. He was not at the level of those guys. It didn't work. So we got to go back. We have no culture. We've got to get a leader of men in here, and that's why we hired Robert Saleh. So, yeah, I get it. It sucks when you see A.J. Brown winning Super Bowls and now Vrabel's coaching in the Super Bowl. I know, as a Titans fan, that does sting. But you know what? You gotta move on, man. As Ghost said in the chat, gotta move on. We can sit around here and cry over the spilled milk forever, but you got to move on. Got to move on. No choice. And I saw somebody said Brian Callahan as OC. No. No. First of all, why would he come do that at the place he just got fired? Second of all, why would they want him? At the end of the day, the people that were involved, except for Amy, who was the main one, what I'm saying is Rand's gone, Callahan's gone. It's a whole new crop of people in terms of Borgonzi, Saleh. It's a whole new thing. We're two coaches removed from him. And yeah, there's going to be people that want to make us the butt of the joke again. But hey, whatever, man. We got to move on. We got to try to find the next good coach. Amy helped find Vrabel. So let's hope she can knock it out of the park with Saleh. Let's hope. I'll be back later this week. Appreciate you guys. Stay warm. If you're in the areas affected by the ice and the snow, sending my love to you. Stay warm, stay safe, and God bless you, everybody.